Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a very interesting game. And politics is a very dirty game. The Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, yesterday announced that the United Democratic Alliance Party and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance will set up a parallel tallying center. For those who follow the politics of this country very closely, in 2017, NASA coalition planned to set up a parallel tallying center in the clouds. Their attempt to set up that parallel tallying center were actually thwarted by the government. You all remember that the government of Kenya even ended up raiding NASA tallying center. And one man was very vocal against setting up of the parallel tallying center. The man, William Ruto. William Ruto termed the move by NASA then as unconstitutional. And I remember in several occasions during their rallies, they explained why NASA should not be allowed to set up a parallel tallying center. I've just compiled for you these clips so that you just watch very briefly so that you can understand what the position of the Deputy President and his brigades were about tallying center before we proceed, because I want us to look at the objective of William Ruto setting up the parallel tallying center, because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence. The DP must be having very clear objectives about setting up parallel tallying centers. But let us remind him what he used to stand for before.
Now, the National Super Alliance has been popularizing an idea to tally and collect election results, and especially for the presidential contest. The opposition chief saying this will be the only way to prevent vote rigging by their opponents, the Jubilee Party or the Electoral Commission.
Wakati hiyo yule agent wetu anapiga picha, anascan, alafu ana forward katika National Tallying Center ya NASA.
But in a statement to newsrooms, Chebukati says such a move would be against the law, instead advising the opposition alliance to monitor the election results through some 338 tallying centers, being 290 in the constituencies, 47 at county headquarters, and the National Tallying Center to be based in Nairobi, with the role of collating and declaring the presidential results. The commission, which is in the process of procuring an election management technology after a tender was issued to a French firm late last month, says it will be possible for election stakeholders to keep abreast with the trickling results.
Atakuambiwa ati IEBC peke yake hapana. IEBC itatangaza yao na tutapananisha na yetu.
According to the IEBC Results Management Framework published last year, all candidates and political parties will be at liberty to send in their agents at each polling station and tallying centers. The National Super Alliance remaining suspicious that things could go wrong at any stage.
The Jubilee Brigade pitched tent in Malindi, Kilifi County and rubbished the National Super Alliance revelations that they will set up a parallel tallying center during the August 8 general election vote count. Majority Leader Aden Duale terming the move as a sign of panic by the opposition.
The only tallying center inakubaliwa kisheria, kikatiba, ni tallying center ya IEBC. Hawezi kuwa wewe ni mwanasheria, waelewa sheria ya peanani uwezo kuhesabu kura, wa kusimamia kura na utangaze eti wewe utaweka tallying center. Wewe Kalonzo Musyoka, uhesabu kura ya Malindi, uhesabu kura ya Mombasa.
The opposition had on Friday at a political rally in Nairobi announced that its plans to set up a parallel tallying center was to counter any vote fraud in August. This Jubilee insisting was an attempt to discredit the poll managers.
Na returning officer ambaye atatangaza MCA, atatangaza mjumbe, atatangaza women rep, na senator, na governor, na president, ni ule anaitwa Chebukati.
Ya hawa wa kuteuliwa ya kuhesabu kura hawataki ifanywe na IBC, wanataka kuhesabu kura wenyewe, kwa sababu wamejua ya kwamba hawana kura, hawawezi kuomba kura kwa wananchi kwa sababu wamechanganyikiwa. Na mimi nawapatia free advice, njia ya kushinda.
No, that's the Deputy President and his stand against parallel tallying center. The election in this country is normally supposed to be a very straightforward process, very straightforward process. Sadly, the election in Kenya is one of the most expensive elections in the world. Why? Because of rigging. Now, let me try to explain to you what normally happens during, on election day until the results are announced. Normally, what normally happens is that the first step is normally the registration of voter. As an individual, you are expected by law, not mandatory, to go and register as a voter. So once you register as a voter, your name should be in the IBC register. So that if you are registered in a polling center like, let's say myself as post ground in Kisumu, my name should be there. And the good thing, IBC made it so simple that, because in some centers there's so many people, so there's a way they arrange the names, but each booklet should not have more than, I think, is it 600 people? So that the number 601 now moves to the next booklet, just for easy, what they call the streams. So once you are registered there, ideally you are supposed to confirm with the IBC whether you are a registered voter or not. On the voting day, your role as a citizen of Kenya is normally very simple. You are supposed to go to the polling center or station, cast your vote, and go home. Then normally what's supposed to happen there is that once you cast your vote, there's always agents. NASA will, let me use like now, ODM or Azimio will have their agents there. William Ruto and his brigades, Kenya Kwanza will have their agents there. So these are the people who will be ensuring the integrity of votes. So once you cast your vote, you go, they'll ensure that, okay, there's no ballot stuffing and the rest. Then those votes are supposed to be counted there once the voting is closed, which is normally around 5. So in a center of 300 people or 1,000 people, those votes are then supposed to be counted. Once they are counted, then they are tallied. So that you know person A of political party A got this number, person B of political party B got this number, person C of political party B, C got this number. Then those results ideally are supposed to be announced at the tallying center, at the polling center. So where you cast your vote is where the results are supposed to be announced. So they are announced, and then the results are then relayed. I think, is it at the county tallying center or at the national tallying center? Ideally, that's what's supposed to happen. Very simple process. But in the last election, Jubilee came up with some funny rules that nobody was even allowed around. Like after casting your vote, you are supposed to get out of the compound. Nobody was even allowed in ODM strongholds. You are not allowed anywhere near the polling station. What these guys wanted to do was that they didn't want anybody. Like, it's a simple process. Once the results are announced, the agents are supposed to sign. So ODM had planned that once it reached that point, then the agent was supposed to take a photo of that result. Then once they take a photo of that result, then they were supposed to send it. And that result was going to be sent to the ODM tallying center. Again, as the returning officer or whatever will be announcing those results, then the ODM agent was supposed to record and send. This is what these guys didn't want. The law states that the only person mandated to announce results are actually IBC. So why is William Ruto now changing goalpost? That's what I want us to look at. And if you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support.
We invited the media here, not police officers. Who gave you permission to sneak in here? No, we are worried. What mission are you on? We will have a scene here. We know who invited you into private property. This is private property. Yes. Who called the two of you here? Why do you come in here armed? Is any of these people armed? Why do you come in here armed? We cannot let you go.
You are not going.
You will answer this to our principals. You will not live here. Who invited you into private property?
Was there an invitation?
Yes, all these people are invited.
Invitation.
All these are media officially invited.
Invitation.
Who invited the two of you?
Invitation?
Yes.
Yeah. How did you
show us the
accept
invitation? Why do you come and sneak into private property?
You are trying to no problem.
What problem? Nobody has invited you here. This is private property.
Now, why do you think William Ruto is planning to set up a parallel tallying center? And how will he convince Kenyans, the same Kenyans he told, that parallel tallying center is actually illegal, is actually unconstitutional? How will he convince Kenyans? In my view, the Deputy President is planning to set up a parallel tallying center because of 5 reasons only. Number 1, the Deputy President is cornered and is now laying the ground to reject the results. What do I mean? William Ruto believed in his thinking that his path to the presidency was very clear. He just believed that with the support of President Uhuru Kenyatta, he was going to get the Kikuyu votes, and then he was going to raid a bit of Raila Odinga's strongholds, and then he was going to use the deep state. Now, that deep state is not there, and this is worrying the Deputy President. So he wants to come up with a parallel tallying center to allow him the opportunity to reject results. Remember, some of these results are normally announced, but they are changed along the way. There were cases, because I was involved in ODM activities in the last election, there are cases where a result was actually announced at a polling station, scanned and sent to the tallying centers, ODM's tallying center. Then whatever was being announced at the IBC, which was being beamed live to you guys, was actually totally different from the results which were announced at the polling station. So because of the integrity of elections, the Deputy President will be able to demonstrate to Kenyans, the way NASA did, that the integrity of those elections were questionable. And because he will be able to demonstrate that the integrity of those elections were questionable, then he will announce that he was not going to accept those results. And by the way, do you have any idea why the Deputy President has been very consistent that Raila Odinga must accept results? Raila Odinga has not said he's not going to accept results. Nobody has asked him. But why do you think the DP is insisting that Raila Odinga must accept results? Will he himself accept results? So basically, he's laying the ground to reject the results. That's number 1. Number 2, Raila Odinga is going to be declared the next president of the Republic of Kenya. I just want to tell you, if you are not comfortable with that fact, start accepting it. So William Ruto is not going into this election to win. He's going to this election to delegitimize the results. He will be able to prove that as much as Raila Odinga won, he has accepted the results, just like Raila Odinga said, but the legitimacy of that results election will be in question. Just like President Uhuru Kenyatta's win was questionable until he got legitimacy once Raila Odinga entered into the handshake. So the Deputy President is keen on legitimizing Raila Odinga's win in 2022. He might not reject the results, but he will tell Kenyans that those results were not the true results. He will, just like NASA did, have their own results. IBC will have their own results. IBC, as the mandated body, will end up announcing Raila Odinga, but in their supporters, they shall have managed to convince them that Raila Odinga's legitimacy is not there. The results were questionable. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this is what they are copying from NASA, is that William Ruto and his team are preparing already for Supreme Court battle. William Ruto is going to challenge the results of this election. The truth of the matter is that in this country, elections are always rigged. You can always prove. Someone will mess up and you'll be able to convince the the Supreme Court. So what they're intending to do with these parallel tallying centers is that they want to prepare their supporters. They want to prepare their legal team. And they want to prepare evidence. So let's say it's polling station A, William Ruto got 50, Raila got 200. The result will be saying different thing. That maybe Ruto got 30, Raila got 199. He will be able to go to court. And if he can demonstrate. And that's why in the last election, IBC actually, I think I made that post I shared that on my Facebook page. IBC was very, very clear that the law only allows IBC to count, tally, collect, announce, and declare election results. Other actors access within established framework. That was IBC on 4th of March 2017. So they want to prepare for Supreme Court battle. Number four, sorry. I also look at it from a different perspective, that William Ruto and his brigades are keen on instilling some kind of fear into their supporters, that if they don't turn out to vote, then this election is going to be rigged. So the only way to convince their supporters to turn out to vote, because they are going to have a parallel tallying centers, is to have a parallel tallying center. Convince them we are going to have a parallel tallying center. Nobody is going to steal our election. In fact, that's why the DP has been flip-flopping on his stand on election rigging in this country. So the idea behind his latest move is basically to rally their supporters to turn up in large numbers. And lastly, I think they're targeting IBC. They want IBC to make their stand known on election rigging and also their stand known on parallel tallying centers. Remember, the Deputy President and his brigades have been running parallel tallying center in the by-election. IBC has done nothing. The last time they were conducting it in Kisii, was it Bonchari? They almost declared their candidate the winner. They did it in Msambweni and other places. IBC, the mandated body, kept quiet. Why do you think IBC kept quiet? Because IBC, as currently constituted, in my view, is right inside the pocket of one man, the Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto. That's why they are quick to summon Sabina Chege, but are slow to summon the Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto. Well, these guys just said the same thing. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.